Hey, hey, hey! All right, it is August 3rd, 2025 on a Sunday. We are not out back with Petrone because of the rain, so we are in the kitchen, and it is fabulous. I love what we are talking about. This is our third Sunday, correct, Ben?
This is the fourth.
This is fourth.
This is number four?
Yeah.
Number four.
Whew, my bad. We did a back-to-back podcast. I had a guy on before. So, yeah. Okay, so this is our fourth. All right, so our roundtable discussion is Griff DeLong, one of my producers, Ben, another producer, and our cameo for the second time, Ross McHenry. All right, so so this is there's people out there going, I hate your podcast. Good. I like that you hate my podcast. That means we're doing something right. So I like it, because it delivers truth. So, Ben, help me with this. Choices, options, boundaries, ultimatums. And then our podcast for 3 was wrapping that up, and then we discussed some pruning and self-auditing.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it, but it wasn't. I guess we're here to hash it out now.
Yeah, no, I want to hash that out. I mean, because that was some real stuff. And the last week has been everybody that has come through the gym this week, the wood gym, and they're like, you're on it. You're not sitting in a chair. You're not like, and it, thanks to Ross, and he didn't even know he did it. And that's why some older people in life, and it came through my feed on Instagram, a Christian feed that said that we should pour into younger people. And I don't think enough older people do that. And then Griff and I talked about that yesterday, where older people my age really don't give you guys time, and just like, we could still learn from you guys, and they don't think that. And I think it was a cool conversation. Through the week, besides Ben, I have great conversations with Griff and Ross through the day. I mean, because, I'm the lonely guy that's, doesn't have anything to do. Thanks, Cam Miller. But I like talking to everybody, because it helps. It's I'm addicted to self-improvement and understanding human behavior, because I failed at a lot of it. So I'm trying to figure out like how to be better in life. And I think choices and options, boundary ultimatums, self-audit, which is basically checking yourself, and then pruning, which is biblical. And we talked a little about that, but then Ross hit me with that last week of he didn't even know he was doing it. We were just eating dinner one night, and we were watching a baseball game, and he was just chopping it up, and basically he was saying, wasn't saying it. I took it like, I thought about it for probably 2 or 3 years. You lost your edge. Are you being the best you could be? And doing something for 34 years, I get you getting lulls. Let's see, Harrison Smith, the safety for the Vikings, he's in his 14th year. So you could double that. Do you have some years where you just, don't want to meet the other professional athlete and just do your thing? I think so, and okay, the money's still the same. I could still pay my bills and take care of people. So it was a wake-up call for a 25-year-old that not many adults at 56 are going to eat dinner or lunch with a 25-year-old or a 29-year-old. Or, Ben, how old are you?
I'm 31.
30. Okay, Ben. Okay. Yeah, Ben's not going to eat because he didn't even respond to text messages. So there's no shot. There's no shot of that. So I think full circle is we're just trying to get to some points of all the things that I'm going through in business and personally, that I'm putting it out there. I challenge other people my age to do it, and they probably wouldn't do it, so I'm putting it out there of where I am. And I just love being around you guys. As much as we have different vibrations through the phone and different things or whatever it is, it's still like we still love each other, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it all, because at the end of the day, if we're pushing each other or pissing each other off in this 4th series, as we say, I think it's all for the best. I don't think it's anything that's trying to put anybody down or making somebody worse. I think it's like, hey, Griff, I talked to Ashlyn today. My daughter's going through some things with her second pregnancy, and I've been sitting up with the hospital with her, and she's like, hey, Dad, I've been thinking about it. I think you need to reshoot your your interview with documentary. I was like, yeah, Griff and I talked about that. It's like, because you're in a different place right now. I could tell you're like in a your face looks different. You're being present. You're not stressed about other things. You're working with oneself of yourself, and you probably have different wisdom 6 years ago than you do now of what you were in and what you were going through and what your life was at 50 years old or 49 years old when this great guy came to me and did that. So I think that's a blessing. And I think it's kind of cool to have those two different things. I was going to text you that today, Griff, and go, just out of nowhere going, I think we need to reshoot something. Whether we use it or not, just put me on camera of like where I am. What do you think?
That's such a, like, the fact that she said that's crazy, because it's like, I've been like editing it through all of it, and like I've hit like a point at like 2,000, and it's just like, I've been going through the interviews from like your 3 that we've done for the past like 4 years, and like each one of them was like a year or 2 apart. Just being able to look back at stuff and understanding the story, and it's just like, it's crazy. Like what she said is wild, because it's just like the perspective and the tone of like how you speak into things now compared to like how you did like 3 or 4 years ago. It's just like it's like completely different. I think that's the cool thing about stories, and like you're talking about like knowing yourself and being able to work through it. It's just like the perspective can also change from the individual of like their own story and how it gets told, and that even through like an interview where it's just like that's a super. I mean, we talked about that a week or 2 ago, just being able to like maybe recap on things and go back and look at stuff, and I think it's an awesome idea. Yeah. And I think it's always like, especially because it's like what's cool about this is just like each interview is like 2 years apart, where I have all this stuff, and then I come back to you being like, we need to get this covered, and then we go back to cover on that stuff. And it's just like, I actually was thinking about that a couple weeks ago, because I've kind of hit the stalemate on like you speaking about all the way up to this certain point, and then it just stopped. And it's weird because it's like the audio on it actually switched at that point to where there are some things that were kind of fuzzy with it. And then that's where I was like, we probably do need to do like a third part where it kind of goes into like more of a recap of like looking back at things, but also like looking at like at that 10 to 15 years. So I'm like, I think that could be a really good idea.
Yeah, because everybody's in a different place, and that's what we call about the self-reflection, the self-auditing, and the pruning. And I think the choices and options and the ultimatums and boundaries that we discuss, Ben, and Ross brought me to that. Ross McHenry brought me to that last week. And this week, I've never felt more alive coaching. And then I've studied podcasts where they say, if you're on it with work, it'll carry over to your personal. If you're on it with your personal, it'll carry over to your work. And it's like, I'm really seeing that, listening to other people's podcasts that I look up to and admire, going, that actually is working right now. And then from the business part of like never sitting in a chair, never grabbing my phone, I'm back to sweating on the turf and coaching and whatever it is that I wasn't doing before. Mm-hmm. Then Griff hits me with more personal relationship stuff of like, we had a great talk yesterday of like reflecting and self-auditing and pruning, and I'm cutting this person out of my life and this person out of my life and this person out of my life. And he's like, okay, well, have you communicated the most productive way to explain to what? And I'm like, maybe not. Maybe I was just like clipping the plant and watching it grow again. Maybe I was, too harsh or whatever, because you could tell I was talking to Griff
like
yesterday.
Burn it all down as opposed to like a targeted pruning.
Yeah, so Griff was talking. I could tell he was in a different vibe yesterday because he wasn't getting my Petronisms as much, and I could just tell it. And it was kind of like, all right, he's gonna, because I am 56. I'm 56, fellas. So like, I could read people and understand their emotions and feelings. So I have kids myself, so I'm like, he's in a different zone right now. Let's see what he's gonna do. And he wasn't like, it wasn't the fluff Petrone. It was like, well, have you done this and this and this and this? Because I'm different than you. My friendships go, I don't cut them off. They just phase out like a candle at the end of its wax.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm a little bit different that way. I'm like more Ross of, all right, because we did something last Sunday with Ross that was like, okay, patterns, looking at people, listening and reading people's text messages of, okay, because I don't have time to do this, but have you open and honest communicated? And facts is Griff could go, okay, hey, maybe you put a sentence out there and then go, okay. So when you start doing that, it's you're just learning from people. Okay, like I didn't go, well, Griff hasn't been married, he hasn't been divorced, he hasn't been in relationships, he hasn't been this, he hasn't had all these friends. You're still taking
Damn.
Yeah. But you're still taking it so raw of a kid that says you got a booger in your nose.
I just like that black and whiteness of what you're talking about. It's like, to me, I just take myself out of the equation and just give you the choice. Like, this is where I'm at. Could I work on things? Yes, for sure. But this is where I'm at. If you're not willing to at least get there or just kind of leave it up to them, like what we were talking about, like that Petrone ultimatum. Like, I like detaching myself from that situation.
I think with the booger in the nose thing and I think what you're getting at is you are craving a level of like that's intimate. You're not going to say that to someone if you don't care about them. Like it is critical, yes, but it's coming from a positive place. And I think that that's what you're saying is like these choices and these things are like ways and like tools to use to get a relationship out of stagnance or like distrust or a lack of intimacy. And it's like instigating this moment of like, let's make decisions and quit wasting time.
That's, I guess, and that's what I'm getting at, where Griff is 29, so he sees it maybe different than 56 of going, friendships, business relationships, everything of like, what are we doing? Because I don't have much time. Does that make sense? And I think that's where,
for sure.
And that's the self-audit of, hey, if you're not willing to kick the ball back, that's cool. I'm out. Like,
what I brought up to you yesterday, I was like, have your like non-negotiables been communicated? That's what I'd asked you. Just being like the things that you were struggling with them. I was like, just making sure being like, hey, have those things been communicated? And you're like, yes. And I was like, that's when it goes to place. And it's funny because it's like I prolong stuff more, which is probably where I would be better in certain circumstances, going black and white and ending things. And like you've seen me in the past, like I've prolonged relationships where they should have gone they should have been cut a lot earlier than they should have been. And that's why I'm like, it's kind of cool because it's like you're asking me on one end, which is probably on the opposite end, you're coming from the other, but it's just like you can learn and feed off of like both, where it's like giving someone more room and empathy than like cutting. And it's also like for me, like don't give them too much empathy. You've set these metrics, they've showed you who they are repetitively, and you keep like opening the door where it's just like being able to cut, which I thought was super interesting. But like, when you asked me that yesterday, I was just like, have those things been communicated? Because oftentimes I get mad at people because I haven't communicated my clear intentions and what I'm expecting. And then when they are falling short and just like, have I communicated these things to them of what I expect within our relationship to work? And I'm like, oh crap, I haven't. I've just been expecting it.
And had they known, they would have. Yeah, I see what you're saying there for sure. But knowing Charlie, I know that was communicated and probably communicated very early. In his situation, it was just the person not caring enough to hear it, I guess. Would you say that? Or if it's just who they are is not meeting you where you're at.
Right. And they have a right. So you go back to the person and go, hey, you actually, you take the weight off and basically and go, you're really not into it, whether it's a workout or a friendship or a relationship. I could see you're not like, hey, I want to come in and train. Like my phone blows up by people wanting to train, and my phone blows up with people wanting to see me, and I blow them up of the same way. And basically, if you're not blowing up, it's okay, but I'm gonna have to remove myself from this. Where Griff was saying, yeah, I'm not cutthroat like that. It just dissolves on its own. It just wears its way.
Yeah, and I think in my situation that you were talking about Sunday night, had I done that, Griff, it would have prolonged. It would have gone on for a long time had I not kind of said where I'm at and state those boundaries. And it would have ended up in me and this other person ended up with more animosity towards each other than had I not come out and
That's definitely
at
happens.
least stated my boundaries. They can take it how they want to take it, but
Well, when you're getting one word sentences,
right.
I mean, we
right.
talked about that too. Is enough. Like you got the boundaries and ultimatums, Ben, that you and I have personally discussed. Of like, let's in the wood gym when you're in there training, because Ben's one of the clients in the wood gym that trains, and I try not to, but when I go up to him, he's training. I'm like, hey Ben, what about? And I'm like, let's really define those boundaries and ultimatums. And I think they're a whole different category of the subject that you're dealing with than choices and options. In my personal life of giving people choices and options is I love them and I really want to see them succeed. Boundaries and ultimatums are almost the opposite of you're not giving me a chance to like and love you. So I'm out and I'm drawing this line in the sand because I'm not giving you the choice and the option. Is that what we're discussing?
And I asked you this earlier in the week on the phone with you. I want to bring it up now because I want you to define it for the audience. Is just define a boundary, because I feel like an ultimatum could be a boundary, but I want your definition, your personal definition of what a boundary looks like to you.
And we talked about this. I don't know if Griff wasn't with me yesterday afternoon. I could tell he wasn't with me. I've known him long enough and he was probably like mad at me or disgruntled with things or whatever. But he wasn't with me because I lit
We're
it
just
up.
trying to understand where you're coming from.
So, and I talked about this. If you don't have healthy boundaries, you don't have a healthy relationship. Okay, so you have to draw boundaries for yourself, but you're also drawing boundaries for that person. And I think when you draw boundaries for that person, it's like, I'm not even doing it for me, but I could tell if you don't want to pick up the phone, don't pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And give me radio silence when you pick up the phone. You're better off going, I don't feel like picking up the phone. So I'm giving you that boundary. It's not a choice. It's not like you're setting your own boundary for the both of you guys.
Because I feel like a choice and a boundary can be misconstrued, where a choice could be manipulated to a person where I can't think of a great example of it, but saying like, if you don't stop doing this, I'm done. I'm just going to leave you cold.
That's a
turkey.
boundary.
Okay. So that's where I'm getting at. It's
That's
like,
a boundary.
where do you decipher that versus one being more selfishly oriented
Okay.
and one being
Okay,
for
so
the betterment
if
of
you
both.
don't mind, we could take your circumstance example. Like you got a one-word sentence of you wanted to see this person, hey, lunch this week, dinner, and she says work. Okay, me personally, it would have been a boundary of, I get it, cool. You don't want to see me, I'm out. It's not like, or the choice, that's a boundary. The choice would be, wow, really? I really want to see you this week for lunch or dinner, and you just text me work?
So like doubling down and wanting them to be what you want them to be and not who they really are, and letting them show you that. Is that kind of the
Yeah, I think it would be you're looking at that person of, man, I think you could do that, instead of, but you're showing me you can't do that. Like if you're giving me a work and I'm like,
Yeah, the boundary at that point had already been broken, and at that point you have the option or not to present choices, or depending on whatever the boundary is and the how badly the boundary was broken, then you just make the decision to. I guess that's your ultimatum. Then it's just like, well, that's done.
right. So with Ben being
Or this
the
can't happen
ultimate,
again or whatever.
the ultimate libtard in the group is a choice. There's no bad choice, to where he's saying a boundary has more black and white. Is that what you're saying?
that makes sense? Yeah, no, that was the answer I was searching for. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. It's like the boundary thing is.
I'm giving you the break.
Yeah,
Like,
I wouldn't want anyone to text me with that little consideration, and so it's like they already did that. They sent the text, and so I think the choice thing is a framework of like, all right, how do we get through to the next thing? Is it?
But
if
you don't.
It's going to be a relationship, then it's here's your choices, or it seems like I don't know. In this instance, it's like the boundary was already broken, so that's why I think it's a boundary.
When somebody
It's just like, I'm
texts
done.
me back work, I don't think the category of choice is there. I think it's you just gave your choice, and now I'm giving you my boundary. And
Just-
go right. So Griff, this person wanted to eat lunch or dinner this week, Ross would have heard from her. And I bet you my dad raised from the grave right now that he hasn't heard from her.
No, that'd be correct.
There. So there's no choice. So you take the choice away. Dealing with my loved ones, I think you don't do boundaries as much as choices. But dealing with people that halfway into it, not into it, 'cause blood's blood. We could speak on that all we want. But
Yeah. Or even just like friendships could, I guess, be the same way, but like maybe a better example is a romantic relationship. Like early on, which I guess for me at 31, like early would be maybe 2-3 months or whatever. If some boundary gets broken, within the first 90 days, I'm probably not going to be presenting choices because it's like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? You're not really in the same relationship as, like, when you get out of that honeymoon phase, say you're looking at 18 months in, obviously stuff's going to happen. You're going to have disagreements or whatever. That's when the choice starts to come in of, like, how do we negotiate this journey that we're on together fairly and in a way that respects everybody's desires and boundaries.
Well, okay.
I don't want to use the word in the definition, but you know what I mean? Like,
Right. So Ross could have actually, last Sunday, he walked away from here. We had a great conversation. Ross stayed longer and we hung out and did our things and talked. And then, I was in bed, he was in bed, not together, in separate beds. And he texted me some things and it's like, cool. Now he could have Griff going when somebody texts work, why? I really want to grab lunch or dinner, but it's not his personality. It's not my personality. I don't think it's anybody's personality because then you're not the healthy one because now you're.
It's just not investing into something that's healthy because, like, if you go digging for that, like, you're just gonna hurt yourself, in my opinion. Versus just saying, like, look, this is where I left it. You either hop on or you don't. Like, and
people
and
text back or they don't.
You could take that as, oh, well, he just stuck in his ways, but it's like. My ways are with God, so it's like, I'm stuck in them, if you want to say that. But that's where I'm at. If you don't want to meet me there.
I think sometimes, too, though, like, so that's, that person's being toxic or whatever. Like, say you're even busier. Like, what does pruning look like when you don't have a conflict with that person? You don't have an issue with them. Maybe they're even good for your life in one way, but you want to make time for something else in your life. You want to get a job in Austin, Texas or whatever, and that person's never going to be there.
I think that's a choice. I think that's part of what started this series is that's your choice right there. You put your pros and cons list, and part of the con is this person may have to get the boot. It may not be what you want, but I mean, that's the choice you're making. It's outweighing one or the other.
Right. So, and then Griff goes back and goes, I really never give anybody, we talked about yesterday. He's like, and I'm kind of like that too. It's like people weed themselves out of the wood gym automatically. And I think I heard you saying that with your personal life, and that rolls into my business life probably more than my personal life of like, I really never had to give anybody the boot. It's more of like, they just fade out. Like the one
they prune themselves.
Yeah, but some of those situations like Ross was talking about, like,
they prune themselves.
Me being me, I would have not been able to cut that. I would have, because it's like, for me, it's like separating that. Because it's like, especially talking about from a romantic
I could kind of see
standpoint.
that just from like, with how much time you spent really thinking through what Sam told you. Like, I could see that with you.
Oh,
where you're
God.
Like, I'm going to, you want to follow the thread through to the end.
You're right.
But
He's not going to cut the cord himself because it's like, oh, but this person's into it.
Because logic
so maybe
tells
they
you
see
one
something I
thing, but
don't.
when you're in the realm of like a relationship and you really care about someone, the emotional aspect, it's so easy for it to outweigh the logical aspect to it. Where it's just like, oh crap, like
you're more of an,
and you're gonna get hurt 10 times worse than if you were to just be like the one word work. It's just like she didn't even present other options of like, how could we like go to the table, mediate, be like, I have this, but it's like Monday, Tuesday. That's happened to me before too, and I'm just like,
from a romantic standpoint, if you just go into it accepting that like it's gonna hurt either way you do it, which way is the better way to do it? That's kind of what I went into it. It was like, this is gonna suck regardless.
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
And I was thinking about no, this is like some real shit right here.
I'm fucking.
You know,
I'm
this is
ready.
my second show today, and I've been drinking since
we've
5.
been drinking. Sue us.
I love this, by the way, because I'm a
Don't
lonely
actually sue us.
guy. Okay.
We don't know any lawyers.
All right,
Don't
I got
sue
it.
us.
So she went, okay, Ben, let's hear you. And you two guys are good. You two guys are good. And I think we're good on this side. We're the black and white guys. You guys are like just bobbers floating in the ocean, you know, like blah, blah, blah.
Taste the rainbow.
If I wasn't black and white, I'd spin myself in a circle.
Oh, you can't. You have no patience.
Yeah, no.
You're whatever. Like,
No shot.
so this person goes away on the beach trip for a week. Before the beach trip, how was it?
Good.
Okay, so I brought this up to some people over the week, and they were like, did this person meet somebody at the beach trip? Did this person talk to somebody at the beach trip? You know, to come back and give my man, hey, you busy for lunch or dinner this week? Which a week has 7 days. And she goes,
Work.
Yeah.
That's happened to me.
I said, come on, really? Or I have nothing to say. I was like, really? Okay.
See, for me, like it goes back to like the attachment to outcome, because like you visualize like what you could be
See, that's
with that person,
that's
and you're
where I
like,
was-
oh,
yeah,
whoa,
no.
I'm finally did it, and we're doing it. And so it's just like
don't
your
do
mind
that
cannot stop from like keep pulling that away, and then like you start pulling away
It's all
from
just
yourselves.
a number at this point.
It's what?
It's a number. They're numbers at this point. But I lost my train of thought on that one. Go back to what you were saying. You had me for a minute, and then I
I'm just saying that something happened through that beach trip.
oh well, that's where I just cut those kind of thoughts off,
Okay.
because it's like what good does that
Again,
do
it
me?
doesn't. Yeah, like it doesn't matter.
And we're not deep enough into this thing for like if you want to go do that, that's cool. Like we haven't put any labels or anything like that.
But what person just says work?
Who knows? One that's not in my life anymore. Doesn't matter. But that, I mean, like, I couldn't make that decision had we not had that conversation the other night. I wouldn't be.
Choices and options.
I'd probably be spiraling right now.
Well, I mean, I think we look at patterns, and I think that's what I was telling Griff yesterday. And Griff wasn't rolling with me with anything. I wouldn't. There was
Jesus Christ!
no
I thought
vibe
it wasn't
yesterday.
like that off.
It
like,
was like
He's all
like,
over you.
It was.
I
It
love
was. He just wasn't there, and I think he just wasn't for whatever
Well,
reason.
he's looking at it through a 29-year-old lens. You're looking at it through a 56-year-old lens. I think it's
Big
the two
difference.
biggest, and you're both so passionate. I think.
I mean,
Especially
my days are so different than his days,
Yes.
and his days are so different than my days.
Yeah,
of
but
like-
you're both working together in a sense. So it's like two different personalities with two different views on how things should be done, also working on something to get done, if that makes sense.
And you're also talking
Yeah.
about like, I think it was Brian or somebody, had talked about with the first podcast with me and Griff, how there's sort of a generational view. And so with the three of us, you get, three sort of slices or whatever. So what we're talking about is like communication and communication styles, and then, matching that to other people in relationships. And I think part of like what disrupts communication now is technology. Like right now we're communicating with, X 100 or whatever people that are going to listen to this. They're not in the room, in the kitchen. Like they're just hearing this whenever. It could be years from now. And at least the three of us grew up, like if we want to communicate with someone, they could be in Shanghai and we just type it into this little screen that fits in our pocket, and that person's going to get it in like 30 seconds or sooner of me hitting send. You didn't grow up that way, but obviously you work with these people all the time. You were talking about earlier, keeping, your work with youthful people, you find value in that. And so it's like, we all have these tools that are universal, but I think everyone has found their own way to like keep it healthy or instill their own boundaries in it. So like, yeah, you can send a text, that person gets it within a minute or whatever. I think it's interesting that you would just respond like one word work or whatever. It's like, that is the message, but that
Welcome to my
person's being a
generation,
passive communicator. But they could have written back paragraphs like what we talked about when you ask the people, who are you? I I mean, that's an open canvas. They can paint and talk, for as long as they want with as many colors as they want. So I don't know. Like, it gets tough to interpret stuff like that, I think, in today's world. Does that make sense? Like,
When we talk about text messages, and I know Ross and Griff talked about this week with me, is another boundary. Okay, this is a boundary. If it takes you to 3 to 4 hours to text back, don't text me. Like, just stop the...
he's talking about me.
Without cause.
I do the same thing.
He's talking about me.
Without cause. Because I'm guilty of it too. There's been a few days this week I've been on the golf course and haven't gotten back to you in a my normal timely fashion.
Fair enough. But if the pattern
Yes.
keeps going...
What you're saying is something that's developing and you're
That has to be
noticing.
communicated. Like, for me,
That's what he was talking about yesterday. That's what you were talking about
I never
yesterday.
Well, that's
respond to
just
text.
that's setting a boundary.
Yeah.
That's you just bringing it to attention.
Yeah,
That's,
being
I mean,
like,
that's-
I'm notorious. It's funny. I'm notoriously bad about text, but it's like I always tell people, I'm like, if you really need me, call me. Like, I don't like address text. I look at emails, and like if you call me, like, but I always have to like preface that. So it's like that's why I was talking about like the communication thing, because you said that same thing about the text thing. And I'm like, I'm the world's worst texter. Like, I get shit all the time.
Right, but here's the thing, though. Okay, you could be the world's worst texter, but then somebody will be like, well, he's the world's worst texter. I don't want to do business with him because... And that... I'm not speaking upon you. I'm speaking upon... That's their boundary of going... Griff DeLong doesn't
the
respond
word's
back.
different.
I think that's one of those. It's like it's unspoken to his point, like boundaries or choices. I mean, some of the best partnerships in the business world, probably people do just text or call or whatever, and maybe they get along because they both, work that way.
Like, for me, I like the excitement of getting only like 2 or 3 texts a day from somebody, because it's just like the newness. It's like, oh, like you waited like 6 hours for that one person, and it's just like,
Okay.
I love that.
Right.
But compared to like other people,
But that's
I need constant
communication.
communication and like an openness and like a mutual dialogue where like it's not like I'm putting out 90% of the conversation.
Griff, I never knew that about you. So that's beautiful to know that. So when I send... No, seriously.
Well, you
So
texted
when-
me last week. I didn't reply, and I just hadn't replied yet. But it had probably been a couple hours. And
But
you're like,
you-
sweet, good talk.
Right, but you could go, hey, I like looking forward to him at the end of the day. Something
awesome.
like that. That's what I'm talking about, Ben. Those are boundaries. It's not a choice. This is my boundary. It's like, if you text at 1, at 8 o'clock, I'm looking at my text messages, and I like going through them with a glass of wine or with something and then going through it.
It's like a street fight, right? Like, before you like go into a street fight, you got to lay like the ground rules, right?
Yep.
And it's just like you lay these ground rules, and like these can't get broken, or the fight ends and you lose.
I
and
agree.
I think it's the same thing with the relationship.
Any relationship.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
I was really wondering where you were gonna round
Go
that
with
all
that?
off, but you did a
No,
great
he-
job.
he
I
did
do
a great
think,
job.
too, like
Spot it
with
on.
texting, I mean, there's a lack of urgency. Like, to your point, if someone needs you, like, call and then you'll answer and then you can talk through. And it's a little more efficient than if it's like something for your job could be complex. Like,
Yeah,
oh, I
and
need
the,
this
the
graphic
priority
change.
stuff. I'm always on for that. But I'm talking about, like, and I think it's a situational thing where like, but what you're talking about, it's just like, I think that kind of stuff has to be communicated because everybody's different. It's funny because like one of my friends from North Carolina, we talk like once a week from the hurricane stuff. We both know we'll call at certain times whenever we're trying to like just chop it up, but it's like I won't pick up because I know I'll only have 5 minutes, and I know if I'm going to talk to her, it's going to be like a 30 to 35 minute conversation at least.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, a
And
lot of
that's what
my
Ashlyn
closest
was saying,
friendships are
is
like
don't
that.
pick up.
Yeah, just don't pick up.
Don't pick up. If
Yeah,
you don't feel like
100%.
talking, don't pick up.
If you can't be
Yeah.
there and at it and in, and it's just
Facts.
like, dude, don't pick up the call because you're just wasting that person's time.
Exactly.
It's weird. It's
then-
ironic. Like,
I some people don't have the luxury. Like, if there's certain
Oh, yeah.
clients I have, if I don't pick up just because I want to,
Yeah.
I'm not in the mood or whatever, then the next phone call is gonna just make my life even more hell.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
It's like I'm not like I understand what y'all are saying. That's just I just can't be like that. I text you back right away, Snapchat you back right away, call you back as soon as I can, and then
Is that because it's
But
gonna
that's in a
pile up?
But
relationship.
he'll
priority.
even
I just-
say,
I just
I
like to-
can't talk right now. I'm riding
I'll
around
text
with the
I'll text
customer."
you immediately, like
Yep.
while you're still calling me, and be like, I can't call you right now. But
He does
it's
say
more of
that.
a OCD thing, I think, than anything. I just like to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
I don't want to have. I don't want it.
You don't
I don't
want it
want
to
the
pile
ball to
up.
be in my court
And
Y'all
pile
waiting-
on.
You yes, you
Stacking
waiting
on.
on me.
Like I have 7, 8, 12, 15 messages I've responded
Because
to.
well, and two, I think the way my brain works is like I'm sitting there watching.
he will.
I'm watching you call, and I'm like, I can't answer this, but it's going to drive me nuts if I don't tell you why I'm not answering this. So
Because I have a thought. Both of you guys should know if I call you guys, he's on something.
There's usually something important.
He's in the
well,
woods.
and
he's
half the time Charlie calls me, there's no hello or hi. It's just phone clicks. It's, hey, let me tell you something about what I was talking to Griff about earlier today, and this, and then it blows into a 2-hour conversation. So there are times where I have to pick and choose when I answer his phone call, because it's like, all right, I've got 20 minutes or I've got an hour drive back. Which one do I? Which would I rather lock in for?
It's cool.
The 20 minutes or the hours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But that's nice to know. That's
Yes.
what I'm saying is I think out of all the podcasts, Griff said the best thing ever is it's like a fight, set the ground rules.
yeah, I like that.
I really, really like that. I mean, all the years I've known you, I think that's the best thing that you've ever pulled out of yourself.
Like Fight Club.
You
Brad
just
Pitt,
know.
shout out. Hey, get some coffee.
Yeah, you just know there's no feelings hurt. There's no this person don't want to train with me anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
This person don't want to talk to me anymore. But the radio silence, I'm not doing anymore, as you guys don't understand probably at 56, as you were talking. It's not happening.
I mean, there's a line.
But that's
so-
a ground rules.
Going silent is just so immature to me. I think
It's-
it's
it's-
just such
Well, it
a
takes
that's the number
both
one thing.
people.
yeah.
Like for
Yeah,
it to fizzle out what he's saying and you've actually fizzled out, like that's both people. I mean, for me, that's probably like
Like there's
9
friends,
months.
everyone in this table, like they probably had someone that was really close with them when they
I
were
don't
younger.
think it takes both. How does it take both
Yeah,
people
I'm
for
a
radio
little-
silence?
Well,
Somebody
so,
could go
like,
radio silence, and you could hit them up before text messages, and they're not responding.
Yeah, but that's the person's choice to keep continuing texting. I'm saying for it to really fizzle out and then it's dead is like.
Yeah, but
I guess your
that-
point is like it's dead as soon as the person quits
Well,
responding or
so
whatever.
from a boyfriend-girlfriend situation, if the boyfriend's reaching out, the girlfriend goes silent, they both go silent. Like, are you saying it's the boyfriend's fault too for not continuing to reach out when she's silent? Because at that point, you've got to have some self-respect and say, all right,
no,
she's
yeah, I
clearly
guess.
showed me where
Yeah, that's
she's
what I'm
at.
saying.
Okay, so yeah, he's on board. He knows. Yeah,
I guess what I'm thinking of is like a lot of my closest friends, like I have a small friend group of people that like if we talk, it's going to be a minute. You know what I mean? So I have some friends that live all over the place, like Nashville, Washington, D.C. and stuff. And ironically, my closest friends I like talk to or text especially the least. Because it's like
Same.
when we're going to talk, like it's going to be in person over cocktails, like
It's always that way.
really
That's
really
normal.
deep, yeah. And so there's just not like we will text if I think of that person, you know, organically for some reason, you know what I mean. But I guess so that point brought me to it's both people, because I've had one where you know it went so long that it's like, all right, yeah, maybe something is up.
I think romantically versus like a friendship, like you're talking about, are two different. Like friendship,
Makes
you
sense.
should be wanting to keep that. Like if they're not reaching out to you, you want to know why. Like if I ignored Charlie for a month, he'd continue to reach out to me wanting to know why. He wouldn't just
Yeah,
go ghost.
That's
too.
what I'm saying. Like,
Versus
that's
a
why it's
relationship,
both people.
Yeah, one seems desperate and like you're maybe not getting a hint, and then the other is you enjoy that friendship and you want to keep it going. I
It's
see
just
what
like
you're
that
saying.
person just wants like you want like clear communication. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you
just
should
like,
want-
like
yes.
I would rather someone just be like, "This isn't working for me. I'm moving on and it's done from here." And I'm like, perfect. Compared to like this, like
it saves so
the
much time.
prolonging stuff. Then it's just like, oh, I have to let them off slowly. I'm like, screw that. Like,
But
just
that comes
hit me
back
like a
to
freaking
love.
freight train.
It'd be-
Let's get
it'd
out.
be-
Let's go.
yeah, it'd
Let's
be-
go our separate ways.
It'd be great if that was reality, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Save
why that
everybody
being
time.
critical is so intimate. I mean, it's hard to tell someone like, "Hey, that omelet sucked." You know, when they just did something for you because they love you and they really put time and effort into it, but it's a shitty omelet and it's like the eggs are burned on the outside, it's raw on the inside. You know what I mean? They used Kraft singles.
That's where, like, with you, like, I've tried to embrace that more. It's just being brutally honest with people, like, off the get, like, on certain things, because it just, like, it's so relieving. Like, but you're talking about, like, you going to dinner with that, or someone asked you to come to dinner over to their house a couple weeks ago, and you could have gone out with all these excuses, and you're just like, you know what? I've had a lot going on the past week, and I have not had any time in my house, and I just need another week before I can do it. And it's just like, why do we as people like think that we have to play these scenarios to appease other people? Just like the truth's the truth. Like this is exactly what's happening. Why can I not just communicate that?
Well, you
and
just
just like,
had
can
a-
you do it?
Right. You had a feeling here when you first walked in going, wait a minute, you're saying two different things to me.
Yeah.
But you just had it was a feeling in your head. You just weren't going, I'm not going to tell him that what's in my head is, wait a minute, you gave me an answer yesterday. It's different than today. That's honesty of it's not being mean.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's like,
You're leaving it up to them on how they react.
yeah,
If they-
you're just unloading it off yourself to go, okay, I'm not carrying that of like the unknown.
Yeah.
And as long it feels awesome.
as long as you're not-
Oh shit.
No, you're right. It does. And I even told that person when I did that, it's stacked.
Yeah.
As you said, stacked. It was our theory today, and what I've been thinking about is one more code sale. One more, hey, if this was our last day, do we say one more that we love each other? And my theme today would be like one more. And I think that goes a long way with what we're trying to say is what you are doing, it has to feel so good. And when you do the thing when I did with the person of, I could say I'm going mountain biking, I could say I have a client in town, I could say all these things and it would all work, but am I self-auditing? Am I being real? Am I looking in the mirror? Am I pruning? Am I pruning myself?
Well, it's like to do good pruning, you have to do the self-auditing correctly and be like, you have to identify the people that need to be pruned, right?
Right.
And maybe it's you have a relationship that's got a red flag or an orange flag or whatever on it, and you're doing the self-auditing and it's you. Maybe it's not that person. You go back and then, why have we not been talking? Well, they texted you last or whatever, So it's like,
What you just said it right there is doing the self-auditing correctly. How you take it is the most important part. If you get offended every time someone offers some criticism of any kind, no matter where it comes from or who it comes from, you're doing yourself a disservice versus Charlie sitting there saying, man, Ross said this, this, and this about me. He didn't take it as, fuck that 25-year-old, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He took it as, man, someone whose opinion I value said this, 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 without intentionally saying that. I was able to take, I've lost my edge. I need to be better. And I've seen it from the pictures you've sent me throughout the week of how it's affected the people in the gym. They're getting killed right now. You're welcome, Marlo.
They're
murdered
begging
right now.
at text messages at night going, can we please lay off this, that? And I'm like, you got it. And I come in and go, no shot.
No shot.
Like the workout the next day.
No
we're
way.
looking forward to
But
it.
had you gotten pissed off at me about that or taken it the wrong way?
It's been a hell of a week.
You
One
would've
week.
had- yeah.
But it's because I've self-audited myself. Then I even take Griff's personal way of, hey, Charlie, have you thought about this with this person? Have you thought...
Well, that's where like my thought process was in that, and I'm like, you're gonna use that street fight analogy. It's just like, if this person is continuously kicking you in the nuts, but it was never negotiated that you can't kick me in the nuts,
Right.
then like you can't get mad that they keep kicking you in the nuts
That's fair.
when you told them not to kick you in the nuts.
That's fair.
No, I think it was right. And I've had some conversations the last couple of days with certain people and going, hey, just to let you
Bryce
know.
Harper's on the TV right now.
That shocker. Bryce Harper.
But you went into it like with some intention of that conversation. I didn't know what the hell I was saying, and I felt really bad. You could tell I felt really bad the next day because I was like, that was not.
But you also do a detach from how he's going to respond, how you said that. But you knew
Well, I
out of
didn't know- I
but you
had
knew
no
out of
idea.
love that you needed to speak.
Yeah, but I wasn't.
no, I didn't. I had no.
We had no shot. We were
were
looking at
literally-
TV talking about something else. And my
And it
mind,
clicked.
He asked me about Bryce Harper, and then that
nothing as deep as you.
Literally-
He can't go deep. He's not
it was
deep
the
guy.
most. That's why I was so caught off guard. Is it was the
was.
most surface level conversation. I didn't think a thing about it when I went home.
So
He
did
thought all of
did
that.
it just trigger something in you?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He hurt me. I was like, God, like, have I lost it? And the next day when he came over to do something, I got into his ass pretty hard.
Well,
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's how you take it. He could have taken it as a insult, however, and just burrowed up in his room.
But I knew
and
it's like an alcoholic, an addict, and anything. They know. I mean, they know. Like, no alcoholic doesn't know they're not an alcoholic.
see, but
Or-
you did know. So there's a lot of people who probably don't either realize it. Like I think you're saying that that's too common. It's not very common. You picking that out is not a common thing.
And that's what Chewy talked about, and that's why I pressed this whole week of listening to his thing again and going, that whole junior year of it separated. I'm telling you, because he had no clue. He was eating his steak and eggs or whatever, and then just talking, and he said like whatever that one sentence was, and it took me on the whole other side for the rest of the night.
Is that the
Your
episode
gut
where you
feeling-
talked about your
'Cause I knew.
mom got your
Calling her a
report
loser.
card or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah. It's just,
And that's what Chewy talked about.
seeing you say that snapped
Yeah,
it into. I remember us recording
And that's
that.
not a
Yeah.
common thing. Like I think you're speaking to it as it's a very common thing that everybody should feel, but it's really not.
I'm telling
And
you.
you taking that self-auditing, because I don't think the three of us would have, if the roles were flipped, I don't think we would have taken it the same way you took it, and used it to get back to that as a true self-critiquing and saying, he's right, I am there. As
Well,
much
it's
as it
so
hurts,
easy to reinvent yourself or like find new people to feed that complacent part of yourself. Like you can prune those people who are criticizing you that care about you and say, yeah, that's cool. Great. Yeah. Thanks for that, Ross. And then never eat at Bogart's with Ross again. You know what I mean? Like that's an option, but you didn't do that.
In 2025, all three of you guys have played some type of sport. In 2025, what do you see? I've seen it since Ashlyn was a junior in high school at volleyball, in 2016 maybe. Mm-hmm. When have you seen athletes go, my bad? You don't. And that's what Chewy was talking about, is when my mother told me that my junior year, I went, you're right. And what Chewy was saying is, how many people would say you're right instead of going, it's the coach, it's the teacher.
It's you, Mom.
It's whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's when Chewy was like, that's where your difference came. And that's,
There's a part like I want to get into your story, but like I'm not going to.
No.
Just because there, yeah. But I think that played more of a significant role in your life, that moment, than like anything else did.
yeah, we could talk about Mike Petrone, my dad, and we could talk about everything. But
That moment,
at the end of the day,
switch.
yeah. And I've brought that up to my mother now, pushing 80 years old. And she's like, I never meant it that way or whatever. It's like, however you did it was a pivotal point in my.
Ross didn't mean it the way that you took it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I'm like.
But
think
that's
you're-
what Chewy was saying is something special, different, is you take it different to it's a coach's fault. Who is Ross? I could easily, come on, dude. I mean, I'm 56 years old. I've run in a business 34 years. He's 25 selling liquor. And,
Yeah, but if you're not watching the underdog, that's when you get beat.
But it's biblical, as Jesus hung out with everybody like that. I mean, what? I got enough of the high profile people and all their things. And it's like, I'm just sitting with somebody that has, Brian White we talked about this, 9 out of 10 people have a intention when they talk to you. There's something they want from you. And I think this circle is people that don't want anything. So when Ross went to eat, he did me a solid that night and we went to eat. He was just talking. And it's like,
It wasn't transactional.
there's nothing, as Brian White and I said, there's nothing to gain. Like everybody has a lunch or a breakfast or dinner or a coffee meeting with something to gain. And Ross, all three of you guys you don't want anything to do with. And I think that's why if you see high profile actors or actresses or athletes, their best friend is not usually a high profile actress, athlete. It's most of the time something that some guy doesn't, or a person doesn't want, or a woman with something to gain. I get the entourage and all that.
That's what I was literally thinking about. I was like, that's why I love Entourage.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's still like at some point they're like,
That's the purest form of a relationship. It's just like when no one is gonna get anything from you, and it's just you. It's just like the value behind that. I don't think it matters like what you do. I think it matters, but like I don't know. I think that happened. I think God and like the unintentionality behind all that. I think it's the most beautiful part behind all of that. And it's also like how that's spoken to you. And then Ross says it, and you're like, it probably doesn't see any significance to him. It's just him talking, and it's just like the impact that's played on you this past week on timing stuff, getting off of the chair, getting off the phone, coaching people, and it's just like that's when you know you have a real true relationship with somebody, and that's what's just like, it's awesome.
No, and 100%. But within this year, I've had Chad Pennington, Harrison Smith, Todd Helton. I train his kids. Still train Harrison Smith. Pennington train his kids. Wilkerson. We go on with the pros that are in there. That they come chop it up with me in the office and in the chair, and don't say a word. So how does this guy say something that he didn't even know? He didn't say it. He didn't say anything, but the other guys weren't saying anything. He didn't say anything. It was just a matter of Ross being the crass asshole that he is, of saying one sentence that it's, now what? Did you just kick me in the balls without me knowing you kicked me in the balls? And I was like, he didn't know he kicked me in the balls, but I took the kick in the balls.
When I first heard it, I'm like, it's just love. How I interpret it, but I mean,
I don't know how he interpreted it. He was just like, this situation, they go there. This situation, they go there. And I was like, you ever heard Todd Helton? You buck-tooth fat motherfucker? like, are you kidding me? Like, how can I not train that? Like, right?
No,
it was beautiful, but it was like, he's right. And it wasn't right about training this pro athlete. It was right of like,
but it was something you were thinking about.
I'm tired of sitting in the, like, I'm like, am I not pushing the heavy weight? And I'm not, because I'm telling you, I've been trying to text you guys all week. There was a yearning to listen to Chewy and the thing. And I somehow, Ben sent me 2-part videos of 1 hour and 8, 1 hour and 11. I'm like, that's weird.
It was a 2-part.
I didn't know. I forgot all that.
I don't have it though. So I was like, you texted me about that.
It was 2019, so I listened to the second part. And when Chewy,
we had to dig for that.
Dude.
It was deep in there.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's going to write it, and I want Chewy to narrate it.
Ooh.
When he starts talking, how he digs into things, and it's like, holy shit. Okay, I was that guy. And it's like, I was that guy. And it doesn't line up that it's that week, and I get hit in the mouth with him the same week. And it's like, yep.
Well, it's like, we're talking too about like your priority shifts, like the past couple of years.
But I could easily tell Griff, I could easily tell Ross, go after yourself, dude. Have another tequila. Let's go eat. Like, let's keep eating. I didn't do that. And that's why Chewy was like, that's the mom of the junior year with the F's and the D. Like, why didn't you go? Instead, I went to my room like, I am a loser.
You made it for your betterment and not your detriment. Like, you...
Right.
It could have brought you down. And you
but that's what Chewy's saying is like, why?
Yeah.
He wants to know the why of that. Of like, say somebody didn't play in a football game, why?
It's choice. And those choices stack.
You're just fucking different. Some people are just good. Let's not sugarcoat it. Some people are just good at what
you
they
listen
do.
to that second part of that podcast. I self-deprecate through that whole podcast. Besides, like Chewy going, I've never seen a stronger guy in my life than this guy in the weights. Like, so those things. But it's like, why did you know that you could? I couldn't play at UT. I'm horrible. I couldn't run.
I think that habit. It's like a habit that choice you made then, and receiving that, it's stacked to where like it took you on a trajectory where like you continually like followed that same process within like how you process like how things are like brought to you, and then it stacks and it makes you who you are.
I just think you know who you are.
But I think it circles back around, Ben, with all the things we've talked about. We started with choice and options. Those were choice and options. Boundaries and ultimatums of like, I'm not going to be a loser anymore. And from that point on, I was never a loser. I lose a lot, but I was never defined as a loser. And then you have choices and options, boundaries, ultimatums. And then you go to self-auditing, which is, you're right, Mom, I am a loser. I mean, you don't have like 4 F's and a D and go, you're a winner. Like, okay. And she didn't know any better. She was an Italian, not just an Italian mom that was raised hard herself, and we shoot it straight. And then you go to self-auditing to pruning. And you're like, you even got to, like you talked about pruning yourself. We always prune each other, but do we cut things off so we could grow?
I mean, it is biblical to talk. Not like you're literally talking about cutting stuff off. Like it talks about like that things that like.
But we always talk about
saying.
pruning friends and relationships. So we prune ourselves.
Well, usually like
I mean, if you're not growing, you're shrinking.
whatever you spot you got. That's like we always talk about. It's like what you usually see in others is like what bothers you about yourself, to where it's just like, I think it's a both and.
Well, healthy boundary, healthy relationships. Everybody thinks it's two, but it could be singular too. Because I want a healthy boundary with myself and a healthy relationship to myself. So I like myself and love myself like Jesus wants us to be. Because we're all born to be great, but you got to find your greatness.
Yeah, I don't think you can love somebody truly if you don't love yourself, or at least have respect for yourself. And
Yeah, because you're compromising. Like if that person loves you, and
well, if
you
you're an
don't love
insecure
yourself,
person,
then-
you're going to pour all that love into the other person, and usually when that happens, you're coming on too strong would be the word that our generation uses. It could scare that other person away, and then you're left with all that love was invested with one person. You don't have any for yourself, and now it's like, well, they're gone, and you're just stuck.
But
Or
to love yourself, you got
But
to
if you
self-audit.
love yourself, you're good. You're like,
but you got to self-audit.
yes.
I think it all those things circle back around to loving yourself. And I agree. You have at 56, you have to love yourself first and like yourself and give yourself a break and self-deprecate yourself and pat yourself on the back and say you did good and do all these things. I get it. But you have to self-audit first to go, okay, I want this person. I don't need this person. And I think that's where all relationships get skewed. Is I want because I want that person because I'm already filled. I already have this, I already have that, I already love myself. I don't need this person to survive. I want this person to have fun and enjoy time with. That's a different need and wants.
Yeah. Yeah,
needs and wants.
you're more in love with just the idea of the compassion itself than the actual person.
Well, I need you. No, you shouldn't need anybody.
Yeah.
That's the only person you need.
Facts.
And after that, everybody else comes and goes. I hate to say it,
he's
but
pointing to God.
yeah, I'm pointing to God.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Thank you
you're
for the
just-
audio people.
If you're just
Audio
listening,
people.
audio.
Audio people.
Yeah. I mean, but a need and a want. I think it's different, Ben. I think it really is a need and a want. And I want to, I don't need you guys. I want you guys to be here on Sunday nights.
We appreciate it.
You know, and there's a difference. It's like, yeah, I'll still survive, but it's a need is like, oh my God, they weren't here tonight. Instead of, hey, I want you guys here.
And that need that you just like brought up, that just feels so unhealthy. Like you saying that, like you shouldn't, husband, wife, whatever, like pointing up top, that's your need. That's what you need. Everything else should be a want.
It makes
that's just
it-
an unhealthy thing to be like, oh, that person wasn't here tonight. I need them here. Like that just
Right.
feels unhealthy saying that.
Your night's already good,
Yeah.
but man, if you were here, it'd be
Yes,
better.
yes, that's
Right.
a much healthier way of.
Man, it'd be better for a couple hours. That'd be
sure.
okay, but it's still good.
Yeah, it's still gonna be good.
Right.
'Cause I'm
how
good
I-
with myself.
Yeah. That's self-auditing.
None of you
know,
listening are good with yourself. Let's be honest.
Everyone struggles with it.
Everybody's struggling.
That's what you're talking about,
Or
like having
not.
to love yourself. And I'm like, dude, that's like
that's hard.
It's tough.
you can't
That's the
receive
hardest
love
re-
until you
yeah.
love yourself.
That's the hardest relationship you're ever gonna have is with yourself.
Well, because yourself's constant.
And
It
you know
never
everything-
goes.
you know
everything
everything
else
about
goes.
yourself.
Right. Everything else has a potential to go. There's no
Yeah.
potential of you
Well,
going.
You know why you react to certain things how you do. Like you know your
I
anxieties.
don't know that everybody does.
But you know your
Like
anxiety.
what?
You know why you're scared of something. You know why you're
Maybe some stuff.
Tell me.
I mean, I don't know any examples, but like I think everyone's going to be myopic about, or focused on their own stuff and not know. Like Ross, if you hadn't explained to Ross why what he said made you think what it did, he wouldn't know.
Facts.
That's why I talk about the communication. It's just like it's so important.
It's so amazing. I'm in bed. Ross calls me and goes, "We're out. We're done."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're like, yeah, it's done. It's just when Ross is like, what the hell did I do?
Yeah.
Like,
I was like,
drinking a tequila and
Giving
like,
friendly
watching some
advice.
baseball.
Yeah,
and
it
some
was like,
Mexican
what
food.
happened here? Yeah, but no, I see what you're saying. Is like, right, because he could have got the work answer and said, oh, cool, how about Wednesday at noon? Is that what you're saying? If he didn't talk to me first and go, wait a minute, somebody giving a work an answer is they're not into you.
I just think that he's saying like people understand their own biases and like their likes and dislikes and why they like and dislike those things, and I think that takes a very like
I would hope
wise,
people do.
experienced, probably pretty old person to know all those things.
So you think when she said work, she was going to get what she got back from Ross?
Say that again. Sorry.
She's trying to push him away. How I interpret it. But I've been in that
But
exact
maybe
situation
not
before.
consciously.
Yeah, maybe she can't receive that. I don't know. Maybe she can't receive. Yeah.
That's a tough one.
I've been in his exact shoes before, and it's just like, sorry,
But
busy.
I didn't want
You're
it.
like,
But I didn't want him floating in it because I love him, and I'm like, give her the ultimatum
yeah.
of like, he asked all week, lunch or dinner, and she said work.
That was not secret option C. For those listening at home, there was not a third option.
So what was your
That was not presented.
That was not presented, and that was the answer.
what was your answer?
Literally, just it was bringing what I was seeing to attention, and honestly, everything sorted itself out. That's why I've just sat back and listened to you this week, because it's like it worked. It didn't. All I did was literally present where I was at and what I was seeing, and asked if there was something going on, if there was an issue with that, and then everything else unfolded how it unfolded.
And that's what I was trying to get.
It took care of itself.
I would not have responded to her.
Exactly.
Because it's like no response is a response.
But you would have prolonged it.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And that's what I was trying to get out of. No, and I understand that.
I mean, come on, you can do it.
Well,
Like,
it's like
gonna work out.
I don't hate this person, so it's like
No,
I don't
no.
want to not communicate. I
No,
want to communicate as effectively as humanly possible.
Right. But to prolong it, and where are we? So you're
Prolonging it would have been just me not saying anything and us just kept going, because that person wasn't going to bring it to my attention. So I had to be the one.
Or you could wait and go, I wonder if this person this week, 7 days in a week, reaches out and goes lunch or dinner.
Yeah.
And that's where you give the boundaries and ultimatums. It's not a choice. Choice is taken away. It's like, if I don't hear from this person in 7 days, that's kind of retarded. But okay, let's go 7 days. Right? Like 7 days. I don't hear from this person.
Oh gosh.
They're just not into you. It's a movie.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Long.
It's just not into you. We should watch
Scarlett
it
Johansson.
tonight.
Just not that.
Scarlett Johansson. That movie's like,
We should watch it tonight, drinking wine.
Yeah, why not?
But it makes sense. The bartender's like, oh, you came here, that person wasn't here, that person.
Yeah.
They're just not into you.
Yeah.
It-
It
it's
can
a-
be clear cut. It
it's
can be them
okay.
just not showing up to Clancy's for a 7 o'clock.
Right. Right. Dinner,
damn.
lunch
Clancy's
for the
too?
week.
Oh
work.
yeah. Yeah.
She sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god.
I'm
They
just
all,
kidding, she
they all
doesn't.
suck. They're all sisters.
I think it's boundaries, ultimatums, choices, options.
Self-auditing.
Yeah.
Pruning.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just had the respect for myself and didn't want to deal with it, honestly. Like,
well,
I
prolonging
respect
it.
you, Ross,
just
because
at
I
the
wouldn't have.
point,
I
like-
wouldn't have done that.
I know, 2 different personalities. What would you have done?
I would have been like Ruby Tuesdays.
We know both these people, like, call me later. Would be like thinking about you.
it's just, yeah, it's just
You're like, stop texting me.
Work. Good luck at work. I'm thinking about you at work.
Do you want me to bring you food to work? I can bring you food to work.
does any of that sound like something I would say?
That'd be us. I'm at work.
Do you want me to come hang out with you at work?
Yeah, I can pick you up at work. Everything can be work. How funny is that? Oh my God. Man, what would you have done? Okay.
I would say that I would be Ross, but in reality, I would be Grove.
What would your answer?
To be fair, Ross would not have been Ross 6 months ago in this situation. It's taken a lot of these conversations with you on the phone. You just happen.
Wilkerson, probably.
Doorbell's ringing.
Yeah.
Griff will
Get a gun just in case.
No, but you just happen to be going through a situation in your own life that was very similar to mine.
Right.
And so it was easy for me this time. Had that not happened, who knows? I would have handled it like I handle any other.
But how do you? I guess what I'm saying with the show is choices, options, boundaries, ultimatums, and now we're bringing it to self-auditing and pruning. How would it go any other way? Like, at some point,
knowing what I know now, yeah, that's how I would. But before, it was like I could have been the person who just feeds back into it and wants them to, be the desperate one and keep reaching out and keep, let me meet you at work or whatever.
You would have done that.
Who knows? When you're blinded by the other person or insecure, and you're pouring all that into them, and that's your identity. You don't know. Like, that's just what you do. It's just reaction. Versus now I'm more strong and centered in myself. So it's easier for me to say, help
yourself.
See ya.
Water's on that wall.
It's good pizza.
Yeah.
But like, I'm here. I'm centered with God, and I'm centered just with a better understanding of what we talked about. So it was easy for me to say, this is where I'm at. I'm good. If you don't want to meet me here, cool.
All from us having these podcasts on Sundays, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And talks.
Choices, options.
Yes.
Wilkerson, we're talking about choices, options, boundary ultimatums.
Yes.
And now self-auditing yourself and pruning, which is biblical.
Yeah.
Like, all the looking in the mirror, I had a lot of wake-up calls this last week of like, have I lost my edge? Am I coaching in the chair too much? Am I doing all that? Getting back on it.
I'll still go back now and self-audit with myself and just say, okay, well, where was I like shortcoming? Like, where did I not present or communicate effectively enough, or just try to
the work.
I understand where that person's at, so I can't fault them or can't crack into that any longer. But now I need to figure out where I'm at. Like, where do I go from here? How do I improve? Stuff like that. It's just kind of like where I fall in that.
Yeah. So Wilkie's my best friend. I don't care if he's black, purple, yellow, white. He's my best friend. I don't care. I might not be his best friend, but he's my best friend. And I consider best friend, like we talked about earlier, you don't have to talk a lot. You don't need a lot of dialogue throughout the weeks and months, correct? Yeah, and you just, hey, just checking on you. And Wilkerson's always the type of guy that doesn't want to do a text message. He always wants to hear your voice, see what's going on, because a lot of shit going on in my life. But like, if Wilkie's more my age, he's older. He's 5 years older than me. So if he asked his woman that got back from a beach for a week, we're lighting it up. And hey, dinner or lunch this week. And the girl that you were seeing goes, work.
I feel so good about my decisions now. That's my man. That's my man.
Nice.
Oh god, I would be so screwed.
I love it.
But we had podcasts the last 3 weeks about like choices, options, boundary ultimatums, and just those things. And Ross stayed back last Sunday for a while, and we ate and drank some more and chilled out. And they texted me later and was like, yeah, it's over. Because I thought about what you were saying with patterns of low effort people. It's like, it takes two on something like that.
Absolutely. And that was what I identified. It was easy after that. Like, I value, like, bucktooth, fat, liquor salesman, say what you want. I could give a shit. But I value myself pretty highly in my own mind. And if you don't value me the same, kick rocks.
Well, I mean, right. I mean, if you're asking for dinner or lunch and somebody says work, Ben, I don't think there's much to go from there. Now, Griff will come in and go,
God.
but Griff will come in with you. Griff will come in and go, well, have you communicated everything? Have you done everything to say?
I asked her to lunch. I mean, there's not much more I can do.
Maybe she asked you to go hang out with her at work.
Have you heard from her since?
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's been great.
Right. I mean, it's just not that into you. That's what it was.
sometimes you're just not that good.
Yeah. And sometimes you just can't play.
Well, what you said when I walked in, you're like, what'd you shoot? 76. It's like, oh, well, if you work 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, I'd still shoot a 76.
Yeah, you got some. Do you want to work that hard to shoot a 76?
No.
No. And that's okay. That's your choice.
And even if I did, who's to say that would be enough?
It's probably not.
It's not worth investing. It's not worth doing.
No, I mean, not everybody could be great. I mean, you have greatness in you, but not everybody could be great.
Jiu-jitsu world champion, Sam. We get it.
No shot. No shot. I like it. I mean, did we finish it? Did we wrap it up? I mean, I thought we hit some really cool stuff.
Where do you move on from here? I really like that series you guys were talking about. You and Ross in the No Shot series. Pulling people in
Griff's
from the
trying to
street being
retire.
like, hey,
Griff and I are retiring.
I got a business proposal.
Yeah, we bring a guest on every time and tell them no shots.
It's like American Idol.
That's my dream.
He could be American. He would love that.
You should have like 5 people each episode. If I do a full presentation to you guys, and it's just like,
just sit here.
So what do you think? And then goes to Ross, goes, no shot.
Shit on people's dreams. Oh my god!
But it wasn't his dream.
It's true.
It wasn't his dream. So, like a jiu-jitsu champion, Fudd, to bring in real quick, 13-time world jiu-jitsu champion.
3rd time brought up in a podcast.
Yeah, I know it. We're roasting Griff for analyzing him. The coach came to him and is like, you could be world champion. Well, so we had him on the podcast. We had Griff talking about it a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, no shot. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, because you didn't go to him saying you wanted to be world champion. He came to you and said that, and then it's no shot. Agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah. And this is Bruce Wilkerson, 13-year NFL vet. You know, like he's played at the highest level in the world to understand what it takes. They have to come to you. It's like Christ. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So no shot. But he didn't understand what I was saying.
That's right. I don't know if I want to go down this.
I mean, but here's the thing: is it?
I got
Sam. After Griff DeLong, is there no other athletes in the world ever coming up?
I just got to challenge your coaching credentials if you're going up to a 29-year-old. No
With a blue
offense,
belt.
with a blue belt and saying you could be a world champion. Not if he would have came to you when you were 16, I'd be like, yeah, whatever, yeah,
Right. So this is perfect. That would be perfect, Griff. You're right.
I think we should do it.
No shot.
Like if someone looked
Let's
at
do it.
me and was like, you could play fullback in the NFL, I'd look at myself and be like, are you fucking shitting me? Like, whatever you're smoking, I need an ounce of it because.
You have no shot.
But no shot. Like it doesn't matter how. Yeah, we could go on for days. He's trying to make some money. Is what he's trying to do. He's not trying to motivate anybody.
Ben, one last shot on this. Has your answer changed? Would you say anything different? Choices, ultimatums, boundaries. Got it? To self-auditing, to pruning. Would you prune the word after she said work? What would you say back? I want to know from you.
What would I say back?
Yes. Ross goes, dinner, lunch this week, and the person goes, work.
I guess I'd have to see the woman.
Welcome to the club, man.
We'll end it on that. Thanks, everybody. August 3rd, 2025, Sunday, Outback with Petrone.